Hello, welcome to the, I believe it's the 30th episode of the GRcade Twitchcast. Today it is myself, and with me is Corazon de Leon.
Hello.
He's returned for a second episode.
Couldn't get the word out. I just can't get enough.
You enjoyed it that much, you couldn't resist rejoining.
Truly did.
And the funny thing is, though, is this one's going to be more Cora-centric.
That's frightening.
It is frightening for you, because some of these questions I've got are going to be pretty, well, simple actually, but you know.
That's fine. Let's do this.
Basically, for those who are unaware, for something like the 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th episode, there was only me and Doom, and we weren't sure what to do, so I came up with a thing of, I'll ask Doom some questions, and we'll see, like, basically some of his gaming history, so to speak. So I thought, why not do that again? Like, there would have been more people available today, but I thought, why not specifically ask people who would like to answer a few questions about themselves? And Cora, within seconds, said, I'll do it. Well, I don't know if it was seconds, but, you know.
Oh no, it was seconds. I'm an attention whore, ultimately. That's who I am.
There you go, then. I didn't say it. Word from the horse's mouth.
Nothing if not honest.
So basically this is going to be a getting to know Cora episode. And I have 28 questions written down. Whether I ask them all, we will see. Because some may get answered, you know, from another question, you know, just might come across on tangents.
One-word answers.
We have a 29th question, which I've left till last, which was from Karl, which I'll go mention again later.
Okay.
Hopefully people will turn up soon as well to also take part in asking you CD questions.
Yeah, nothing like...
I'll be the nice guy and ask normal questions. I can't control what people ask, you know?
Oh, the weirder the better. Let's do this. If we're going to do it, we might as well really do it.
Okay. First question. How long is your penis?
2.4 meters. I mean, what? Yeah. Like,
I'm only joking. Sorry, I did the same thing to Doom, and I'll do the same thing to the next person I ask as well. It'll be the same opening gag.
I do hope you get a woman on next time asking the question like, "Oh,
how long is your penis?" And they'll be like, "What?" No. So, genuinely, the first question is, what is your first gaming memory?
Do you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm not sure. I think the first thing that comes to mind is getting a SNES. Christmas '95. I woke up at 4 a.m, ran downstairs, opened my presents, opened everyone's presents, like my brother's, my mum's, my dad's, because I was a terrible child. Opened everyone's presents, and the crown, like the sort of crown and glory, the pride and joy was there, and it was a Super Nintendo. And I used to play, like the first sort of 3 or 4 days of having it were just constant Super Mario 3 on Mario All-Stars.
Yeah.
I did not get past the second world because I was 5, but, you know, I tried my hardest. So yeah, I think that's the first thing that comes to mind. I don't think there was anything other than that.
Well, the question I was going to ask next is, what was your first console? But I'm going to assume it was the SNES, but...
apparently not. That's the weirdest thing. Apparently the first thing I got was a Game Boy. But I don't remember getting it. I just remember it always being there. A Game Boy and Wario Blast.
Wario Blast?
Wario Blast.
What the hell is that?
Now, that is a very good question. I should say it's Wario Blast featuring Bomberman. So it's
like a Bomberman game, but with like...
Yeah, a Bomberman clone featuring Wario. It had 8 worlds and was insanely difficult. Like, stupidly so. or it might just be because I was a very young child with
Yeah.
no hand-eye coordination. I've not gone back to it for a long time, but I still have the game. So one day I'll give it a shot.
You should. You should go back and like see if you like, you know, brings back any memories of how bad you were at it.
I'll do a let's play of me throwing my Game Boy out the window after 5 minutes of pure frustration. World 1 level, off it goes.
So we're on to question 2, because that was like a part B. That was to the first question. Is back in the day, what game did you play that wowed you? That made you think the games were a unique kind of experience?
That is a very good question. And I think it's probably going to be quite a generic answer. I think it's probably going to be Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I got it. I was only 8 when it came out, and I remember playing it non-stop for like 3 weeks, and just being absolutely blown away with everything that you could do in it. That it just, in my mind, never been possible in a game before. You go back to it now, and you know it's just sort of 22 years down the line, and you wonder how you could have ever thought it was such a groundbreaking game. But at the time, it was absolutely incredible. The other one
from 2D to 3D was pretty big, yeah. Wasn't it? You know, so
absolutely, it's just like, again, as you say, having played A Link to the Past pretty thoroughly, the complete shift, and the kind of the focus on narrative over just exploring an adventure, total difference, and it blew my 8-year-old mind right out of the water.
3D back then, like I say, was a massive leap, but it doesn't hold up as well as like the next generation of 3D, even though like that was again a big leap, but it wasn't such a transition from the 2D to 3D, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, I know. The other thing I was going to say, the other game that kind of popped into my mind immediately was Perfect Dark, but I don't know if that's just because it was such a kind of improvement on GoldenEye, and such a kind of, like, you know, that way you kind of wait for 2 years for something to come out and you get more and more hyped up and more and more hyped up, and then it comes out and you just think, oh my god, this is insane. But that was another one. I went back and played it a couple of years later, and it was, well, I say a couple of years later, so 2010 kind of time, and it was just so almost unplayable. The frame rate drops.
You played on the back on the N64? Did you play the 360 remaster?
I went back on the N64 and played it a few years after it came out, and I struggled with it. But I've since got the Xbox Live remaster, and that does kind of remove a lot of the frame rate issues and stuff like that. Yeah. It's still, I mean, it's still absolutely a relic of its time, if you like. But you can still just about go back and play the multiplayer now, 20 years later, and I think that's quite impressive.
No, I can get behind that. I enjoyed playing it. Briefly, quite recently, with an N64 controller and everything, and it was enjoyable enough.
You're trying to use an N64 controller, though.
it was well, it's a custom N64 controller. I think I've got.
Oh, that's not bad. So, I think my hands are still like slightly claw-like after years of playing 64.
Like the thing is it's still a good game, but like the controls are weird with the C buttons and stuff, and I think obviously the 360 version with the dual analogs and.
Yeah, it's so archaic to try and go back and play a lot of 64 games now.
They hold up, but like not at the same time. It's weird to explain.
Yeah, I played Cora recently, and that was another one. It's amazing, and it works really well, but it's absolutely a product of its time. I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue back then for a lot of N64 games, at least, because obviously the DualShock came out on the PS1, is the fact that there was no proper a second stick for cameras and stuff. So you either had fixed cameras in weird ways, or you had the C buttons which weren't as
just not as responsive. Like trying to use the C buttons to control like the cameras and platformers and stuff like that. It was fine at the time, but trying to do it now, it's very difficult.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, actually, I'm thinking about it. I remember watching something Like I can't remember that far back with a lot of the control schemes, but I remember watching a YouTube video where they were saying it was about like bad reviews in hindsight.
Yeah.
And one of them was like complaining about the control scheme for an Alien game where it was using dual analog as the right analog for camera and stuff, and games at the time were using the right L and R buttons then as the camera, and it was saying like it's really bad and it's awkward to use, and since then it's become the staple of the way dual. You
can imagine going and just think ahead of its time it must have been. Like,
yeah, I think it was an Aliens game or Alien game or Predator game or Alien game. It was Alien.
Alien. Was it the PS1 Alien game?
I think it was a PS1 Alien game. I don't know if it was the PS.
I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah. My memory's awful.
I may be thinking of something totally different though. Yeah. At this
point I think the review was like Eurogamer or IGN, and I think the video was a Guru Larry video. So
right,
you could find these like five bad reviews in hindsight. It's like at the time the review wasn't exactly bad, but when looking back at it, it's like no. Yeah, things change. Are you more of a multiplayer or solo experience kind of guy?
Oh, that is a difficult one, because at the moment, just because my friends are kind of scattered around the country, I'm sort of forced to be solo. But I've had so many good experiences on multiplayer. Like Gears of War springs to mind. It's not the best game. I love playing it online with the GR guys. Was just, I think I used to play with you.
Me, Suz, you.
Like guys like
Karl, Fletcher, Sandy Coin,
Woodgie Bobo, I'm sure you used to have it.
Yeah.
God.
Jesus Christ, that's going back what, like
so long.
That was when I had long hair, I think.
Jesus, me too actually. God, like completely bald now. Like,
I've still got my hair; it's just short.
well, fuck you. But yeah, like it's the online multiplayer was amazing for many years, and then I just kind of drifted away from it. Because I didn't have the time to put in, and it's so difficult when you can only play casually if you try and do matchmaking or something like that, and you're just getting sniped off the face of the planet 2 minutes into start, and it becomes a bit frustrating. But I think if I had my choice, I would probably always go for local multiplayer.
Yeah,
a few lads, few beers, some Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or something like that. It's fun. Brings us together.
Well, actually, speaking of split screen local multiplayer, I was gonna literally just say, what are your thoughts on split screen local versus online?
I think it's pretty much, I like split screen because of the social element of it. Nothing against online multiplayer. I think if you've got a group of guys who go on and play a lot, it can almost match it. It's really good, but it doesn't quite compare to a bit of couch co-op or
there's nothing like playing a game like of GoldenEye or Perfect Dark where you're running around and your friends watching you a screen. They know the layout better, so they then know how to sneak up on you and kill you because they're little bastards.
It's a fight like 5 minutes into the first game, you're smashing controllers off of people's heads and stuff like that because you just know how they think.
I'm not sure if I brought this up before, but I was playing a multiplayer. I was playing Smash Brothers Melee around my friends. He was on Games Radar, Stormcaller at the time. Right. So I was around his house.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. I think his Sig was Solved by Maze, which was from obviously Superman 64.
Yeah. Flex Luthor. God almighty.
So I was around there, and he had one of his friends round, who was back from Bristol, where he was from, and I was playing Smash Brothers, and we were using Wavebirds. So there's me trying to fight his brother, I think, and his friend was there, like without me even realizing, just switching his controller to the same wireless connection as mine. So I would just stop moving for a while. I was like, what's going on? It's not working.
That is a dirty trick.
So I'm like having my ass kicked because I can't move. He's sitting there on his PC, just like laughing to himself. I'm like, why is he like? And then his friend sitting there laughing as well. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Man.
Then I noticed
That
the past,
is
like,
so
you dirty
frustrating.
bastard.
That is absolutely brutal. We used to play it was like a film quiz game, and I knew all the answers because it was my game. And I had a friend who used to get so frustrated when he got them wrong and so annoyed that I would just kind of, like, he would sit closest to the TV and I would surreptitiously tell all my other mates the right answers and he would just explode. Like, we were all getting everything right and he's just fucking it up. It was, yeah. We're bad people. Like, that's just the way it is. Isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You don't quite get that on you don't get that same thing online. Like, I play online a fair bit with people, regularly the same people, so I still have it's still really good, but it's not quite there. There's certain things you just can't replicate, and
I agree with that. Yeah.
When you were younger, were you a fanboy of a particular company, or was it simply the games that mattered to you?
Oh no, I was full Nintendo. Like, I was when I was very young, I bought into all that official Nintendo magazine crap, Sony Grey Station and stuff like that. And yeah, like I was fully into that. But it was only when the Xbox 360 came out that I actually kind of drifted away from them a little bit. And even then, like, I still got all the Nintendo consoles. I still have, like, I've still got my Switch and everything like that. But yeah, Nintendo were my big early fanboy company, and Rare as well. Probably off the back of the N64 magazine, because you play, like, you kind of read all the reviews and the previews of stuff like Banjo and Diddy Kong Racing and stuff like that, and you get hyped up. And Rare ended up seeming like the best damn company that had ever started coding, you know. So yeah, those were the two.
What about now? Are you still a fanboy?
Not really. The only thing I kind of fanboy out over at the moment is Resident. I won't hear a bad, like, there are very few Resident Evil games I'll hear a bad word about. Even 6, which I've been playing more of since we spoke about it last week. And I
tell you what, if you tell me you like Jake's story, I swear to God, I'm banning you from life.
It's piss weak. I literally finished it minutes before we started this. It's piss weak. It's so poor, but it's poor in the way that, like, an Arnold Schwarzenegger film was in the 80s.
How dare you?
Like, oh no, it's like the bit on the motorbike where you're just.
How dare you compare that trash to something of such quality as an
you'll never
Arnie
meet a
film
bigger
from the
Arnie
80s.
fanboy than me, though. You'll never meet a bigger Arnie fanboy than me. It feels like that kind of ridiculous sort of over the top nonsense.
Have you finished all 3 campaigns?
All 4?
But I mean, like, Ada's is like a added extra, but the main 3 then.
Yeah, I've finished all 4 now. I've done the main 3 and I've done Ada's one. And
can I ask you what you think about the whole thing with Chris and Jake meeting, and he's like, I was the one who killed your father, and Jake beforehand had been saying he didn't really know his father, and when he did know him, he didn't like the guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna kill you, Chris!
Oh, it's so stupid. Like, I was...
It was like, what?
Honestly, almost in tears laughing at it. It's like, why would you do that? We aren't finished talking. It's like, you've just said the guy was a dick. What the fuck? But
he was trying to destroy the entire world as well. Like, you know, it's not. I am a god. Resi 5 Wesker.
It's nonsense. The characters, the characters don't act in any way, shape, or form sensibly, and they know things that it's not explained how they know.
Yeah.
Like, Leon at the end of one of these chapters phones Chris and is like, oh, by the way, this guy that you're chasing is Albert Wesker's son. And it's like, at no point were you told that in the story beforehand, or I haven't been listening. But it makes no sense, and I kind of love it even more for making no sense. Yeah. Just stupid.
One thing I will say is I enjoyed 5 more than 6, but I wasn't a massive fan of 5. But the one thing that I disliked most about it is the way Wesker ended up being at the end. Like, I didn't mind his nasty, crazy, psycho persona that he ended up having. It was more he started transforming into this weird thing and then got rocketed into lava and died. I just did not like that. I just didn't.
Five's the most
Wesker deserved better, man.
all, I think.
Wesker really deserved better.
But it's like, you spend 10 years building this guy up, and then it's like, oh, we're fighting in a volcano, yeah, oh.
Chris punched a rock!
Yeah, he's punched a rock. Oh, fuck. I mean, he's got big arms, but that's it's a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he lost a bit of muscle mass for the for 6.
He actually
5.
did, but even there, he's got this kind of action hero physique, and it's absolutely hilarious. But I kind of, as someone who has a soft spot for, like, over-the-top action films and stuff like that, I didn't get as annoyed at what the series turned into as a lot of people did. So, like, I love the horror stuff, I love the early games, they're absolutely incredible, but I get on absolutely fine with the later ones as well.
See,
I've not played 7 yet, though.
For me, when it changes so much, I just think, why didn't they make a new franchise and then have the horror franchise and then this new action franchise that could even spin off from some characters from Resident Evil instead of changing it up so much, you know?
I think it's probably sales. Like, you look at how many copies Resident Evil 6
Resident Action. What?
Yeah, but I think it's still Capcom's highest selling game, isn't it?
Is it?
7-8 years down the line, yeah. And so yeah, I mean, it was obviously the right call from a financial perspective, but I can see why hardcore fans of the series aren't so hot on it.
Right. If I'm remembering correctly, you don't stream, but
no.
I think you did stream for Sick Kids at Save Point, which was a charity stream that lasted for 24 hours.
Right.
How was that 24-hour stream, and are you going to do it again?
I'm going to do it again. It was piss weak. Like, it was the very first time I'd ever tried to stream something, and I didn't have a headset. I didn't have anything to really talk through it, so it wasn't good. But when I eventually go back to it, and if I'm planning on doing Sick Kids Save Point again this year, I'm going to be fully kitted out. One of the things I want to do is, like, I have a ridiculous amount of N64 games. So and my plan eventually is to start streaming through them.
You're going to stream through them, and then you're going to, each one you play, you're going to pack up in a lovely box and send it to me on stream.
I will not send you them, but it was a good try.
Thinking of your N64 games, I know this is kind of off the path of the question I just asked, but I am right in thinking you collect. Is it you like only collect like a certain quality of game, or is it you just collect an N64 game if you like the game?
It really depends on the game. So, like, some of them I'm not settling for anything less than full, like, top quality, and then some of them I really don't mind that much. So, like, Gex, Enter the Gecko, don't care. Kirby 64, I want it. I want it full quality, because you're paying so much for the cartridge, you might as well just pay the little extra and get the whole thing, you know.
Yeah. So as you were saying, you were planning on going through some N64 games for the next Sick Kids Save Point, which I believe is a different name this year.
I think it has got a different name. I've not checked, because they send me emails, but they send me emails to my old Gmail account, which is just 150% compromised. So I need to go in and actually change my details so that I get the information from them properly. The plan will be to probably stream a few and then try and, like, use the experience to boost into actually regularly streaming them more, and trying to go through, like, a big chunk of my library, because I've got them all. I might as well do something with them, you know.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to say, have you considered streaming more in general? But it sounds like that this is going to be like a jumping on point for you.
Hopefully.
Well, it makes sense if you've got those games to go through.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all sitting there, as I say, so it'd be daft not to do anything with them at all.
Yeah, well, for me, streaming was a simple thing of a way to kind of get VODs of things so I can keep my gameplays as like videos I can look back at. But I thought it'd be more fun to stream than just record. But another way of one of the other main reasons for me to stream was simply to finish more games. It was an incentive. If I'm streaming it, I'm going to finish it.
That's
Whether that's worked or not is a different thing.
I think that's definitely part of it because I've got a massive backlog. Like my backlog must be sitting at like 300 or 400 games now. And I'm at the point where I'm not going to be buying anything new until I get through this like insane amount of games I've got to play.
In 2030, Cora buys his first new game.
Finally get a PS5 or something like.
Yeah. The PS6 will be out by the time you get through all those games. Hopefully, it'll be backwards compatible.
So like, I've got games with gold and stuff like that as well. So I've got another like 150 just sitting waiting to be downloaded on the Xbox. Once I'm finished with like 3 generations ago's worth of games, it's should be interesting anyway.
Yeah. So you were a big Rock Band fan.
Yep.
Do you still play Rock Band?
Do you know, I go through spells. I actually went back on it yesterday for the first time in like 3 months. Downloaded a few songs, got stuck in, enjoyed it. But it's not something that I spend a lot of time on anymore. I played it, I got to the top. I enjoyed the Rock Band Rival stuff. Me and Bido, I don't know how you say his name.
Bido?
Dave.
I assume. I say Bido. Kind of like Birdo without the R, you know?
Yeah.
Bido.
The two of us and Frank and a couple of other guys, Buffalo was involved at one point, had it's like an online band, and every week they'll give you challenges and you go on and you try and play them.
Yeah.
And we did that for a good few years. We kind of finished every season in the top division for a long time, and then I think we just drifted away.
I think Cumberdine said he was involved at one point with yourself as well, actually.
I think he might have been very briefly.
He used to live with
Buff. He used to live with Buff, didn't he?
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's a really good thing that they've got going. It's obviously done so that they can release downloadable content, put it up as part of the challenge, and then people will buy it every week. But for those of us who are hyper competitive, it's also really good to kind of test your strength against some of the best guys in the world. Really, I finished third in a week a couple of times, and I felt really good about that. And I was like, I'm not going to do better than that. So
you finished third. You're like, God damn it! I need to do better.
I'm going to retire. But yeah, like Rock Band, it got to the point where I found myself downloading songs by like Dua Lipa. I've got just under 1,000 songs on it.
Oof.
And if I kind of count back to 2007, the money that's been spent on that one game series, you must be £1.69 a song. You're
Rock
looking
Band.
At
the original microtransactions.
Yeah, man. They must have, like, licensing costs aside.
It must have cost a lot to license the games, but they must have made a hell of a lot of fucking money back.
Well, they used to be owned by, or the games used to be distributed by EA through MTV Games. So a lot of the licenses that they had in the early years were actually through their connections rather than through paying, I think, a lot of the time. So it must have done pretty well before before Rock Band 3 fizzled out in 2012. I think it's less profitable now, and you can see that because the DLC that comes out is not it's not like top tier stuff anymore. But it's still, like, you still get the odd absolute banger. So it's still kind of worth keeping an eye on. So yeah, Rock Band, love it, always will.
Yeah, I liked Guitar Hero, and then I liked Rock Band as well. Obviously, I preferred Harmonix Guitar Hero to Neversoft. Someone else
got it. I think someone else did the last one, but yeah, Neversoft got it for 3, 4, and 5. 3 World Tour and 5. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Harmonix are better.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't disagree with you because it's true. Are you into rhythm action games generally, or is it just Rock Band? And have you tried Rocksmith?
I tried Rocksmith. I was crap at Rocksmith. Rock Band 3 kind of tried the Rocksmith route of like teaching you to play the actual guitar.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to pay the £100 for the guitar peripheral, so it just kind of that died on its own.
Yeah. That's the good thing about Rocksmith. You can just use your own guitar.
Yeah, just use your own. Yeah, like Rocksmith is really good actually for what it is. I used to just like rhythm action used to just be the thing I was into, but in the last 5 or 6 years, I've managed to destroy my hands. I broke my knuckles in my left hand, and I dropped a weight on my middle finger in my right hand. So like the middle finger in my right hand is just basically like a useless claw now, and it makes it harder to play the guitar.
Useless claw.
It's so bad, man. You've no idea. But yeah, like I can't play the guitar as well as I used to. The plastic guitar, because I can't play the real guitar at all. But I can still do the singing and the drums. So rhythm action is now basically my personal karaoke machine.
Sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds like a bit of pain, really. You know, it's something you really enjoy. You can still play it, but obviously it's just, you know, you've been affected by, you know, dropping something on your claw.
Yeah, my claw.
I'll get you next time, Gadge. Sorry, I shouldn't.
More thinking about the claw from Liar Liar with the guy like
that claw.
The claw.
the other guy doing it where he's just doing yeah, it's like Jim Carrey does this big the claw, and the other guy's like, the claw. Just silly, you know.
Yeah.
So, which do you prefer? Modern gaming or retro gaming?
Retro.
Really?
There's my one-word answer. Yeah, retro. Always retro.
How come?
I think it's just nostalgia. I think it's just like.
Do you get nostalgia about games you haven't played then? Because if you go back and play a game you haven't played, you still get the same. Do you still prefer playing that, something new? Sometimes
it's the vibe. So like, a lot of Mega Drive games I didn't play when I was younger, and going back to them now as an adult, it feels like Streets of Rage, and it feels like Golden Axe, and it still kind of gives you that kick of, you know, this is the way things used to be, and this is the way these are the things that I loved when I was a kid, even if it's not necessarily one that I played. So yeah, I think nostalgia plays a big part of it.
Is there a franchise that you've played in the past then, right? Is there a franchise that you've played that has basically died out that we'd love to come back?
That is a good. I would have said Streets of Rage, but
I knew you'd bring that up, but it's just come back. Have you played Streets of Rage 4?
I've not had the chance.
Oh, it's so good. It's like my issues with it is it's hard, but they always were. So it's not really an issue. More just a general view of the game. Obviously, one issue that people seem to have with the game is there's no continues, so as you run out of lives, you start back at the beginning of the level.
Oh my god, I'm not going to get on well with it.
But it's not like it. In old Streets of Rage, you'd have 3 continues, and then you'd lose your continues, and you go back to the beginning of the game. In this, it's like a story mode, so when you die on level 2, on the boss of level 2, you'll start at the beginning of level 2.
Right.
You're on the final boss, you won't go back to the beginning, you'll go back to that
that's not
stage.
So bad.
That's not too bad. But lives don't carry over from the last stage, you collect them. Once you finish the game, there is an arcade mode, which does classic Streets of Rage rules.
Back to, right, okay. That's not bad, I can deal with that. That's it feels more modern. That feels like kind of catering for everyone. That's fair enough, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm trying. I've been sort of racking my brains on a franchise that has died out, because most of the ones that I really enjoyed have actually continued.
What about Mario? That ended on the. Sorry.
Mario.
What about Sonic? God. What about Sonic? That ended on the Mega Drive. That recently come back with Mania, didn't it? I come back with Mania. Oh, damn.
I'll tell you what I would like. A game like Sonic Adventure 2, because the 3D Sonic games, like, that was good. And I don't care what anyone else says, it was good. And after that,
I'm in the opinion
nothing.
of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 were quite bad, but I still really like them.
Yeah, like they're flawed. They're not perfect games, but Sonic Adventure 2 is fun, and the later ones that. And another Sega classic, The House of the Dead. I would like to see a new one. And actually, the one that I've just thought of, which is very clearly the winner, is F-Zero X.
Oh, F-Zero, yeah. Advance Wars is another one I'd like to see come back.
Advanced Wars is brilliant. I would love to see a new one of them.
The last House of the Dead typing of the Dead, or was it House of the Dead Overkill?
I'm not sure. The last one I played was 4.
I know there was one on the Wii and maybe PS4, 3 with the Move controller.
Possibly.
I can't.
But a proper arcade House of the Dead would just be
back in the thing, like back in the seat.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
God,
not the
yeah.
seat, but you know.
Gun peripheral, ready to go. I would love that.
Jawa's in chat, he says, yes! House of the Dead, with the same incredible voice acting as before!
Yes! It's so bad. It's amazing. It's just... I used to go around a mate's house and play House of the Dead 2 on the Dreamcast with a light gun. And that, yeah, something with that vibe in it would be brilliant. Crazy Taxi, actually. I would like a new Crazy Taxi game. And yeah, I think the boss is probably F-Zero. I don't understand how it's been 17 years since an F-Zero home console game came out.
This is the problem I have with Nintendo. I can get behind it sometimes. Is a lot of the time with this stuff, they would like to innovate, add something new, a new twist, a new gimmick to the games. It's not always needed.
No, it's not. Sometimes you just want a really strong, dirty car racing game.
Yeah. With
Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
That's all I really need.
Yeah.
Or a 1080.
I'm laughing because I was thinking there's a car in F-Zero. I think it's called the Black Bull.
The black Bull's the car and the black Shadow is the race.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll always see people say, "Oh, I love Black Bull and Captain Falcon." I always see you come in, Black Bull's the car.
I get caught with that. I get caught with that a while ago, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to see the Black Bull in Smash Brothers," and someone just shot me down like, "Oh, Black Shadow, what's wrong with you? You're not a real fan." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I've not played the game for 10 years. Don't help me." But man.
Well, going on from a franchise we'd like to come back, is there a franchise that's currently going that we would like to see go away? Even if it's a franchise you enjoy, but you just like it to take a long break. It doesn't have to go forever, but, you know, hiatus, or go forever.
I would like to see, this might not be popular, but the Call of Duty games have run their course for me. Every year, a new one seems to come out, and I see the adverts, and it looks dull. And I would also like to see like a new football franchise. FIFA's fine, but and I don't know if I'm just like an idiot when it comes to these games, but it feels like it's been the same update now for a good few years. So
I'm not a massive football fan myself.
No,
but when it comes to football style games, the ones I've enjoyed the most has been Rocket League, which is quite different, and I really enjoyed Mario Strikers.
Yeah, Mario Strikers.
Which is more like very arcadey, silly football, you know. Arcade, but it's just different, and I don't know, like FIFA and that. It's like it kind of takes itself too seriously, I guess, because it's trying to recreate the sport. But
yeah, and that's fine. Like a proper Sim's fine, but like just change it up a little bit, do something new.
Yeah,
the license has been going now for as long as I have. I think the first game came out in like 89 or 90, and it's since about 2011, 2012. It's not really changed. I'm sure someone will pick me up on that, but it feels like it hasn't really changed enough for me.
Yeah.
So I haven't bought one for I've only played them at friends' houses. I'm 2 years. I see something that gets me back into it.
So there you go, guys. Call of Duty and FIFA or Pedz.
lad franchises, if you will.
Yeah. Jawa's more of a Pedz man.
Yeah,
do you know
like-
what? Do you know one series I've not? When we do these like little conversations with other people, I hope someone brings up a franchise I'd like to see come back, and I hope they say fucking Rise Star or Ristar.
Do you
That is
know
damn
that
good.
one completely passed me by? Like, I've got it on a collection, like one of the Sega collections. and
I never played
played
it back on the Mega Drive. I played it on the GameCube, I believe. So I was around 18, 19 when I first played it. I
Right.
loved the game. So it's not a
it on
nostalgia thing
GameCube?
for me. I was like an adult when I first played it. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, that's one to think about. Is it on the GameCube? What?
It was on Sonic Mega Collection, I think.
Do you know? I think I've got that.
But I think it's on like a couple of other collections now for PS4.
It'll be on all kinds of Sega,
Yeah.
like Sega Mega collections and stuff. I would have thought.
Thanks, Lee. No point barking at the rain. No point barking at the rain. I remember
Okay,
before, a little story. I remember before, I was sitting here streaming, the dog was going nuts. I was like, dude, stop, like, calm down. Then I took my headphones off, like, what's he bad about? Bang, 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 bang. Mrs. was standing outside for like 20 minutes banging the door.
Oh God!
Oh, she was not happy.
Oh man, Loki does the same kind of ridiculous shit. He's not a smart boy. Good boy, not a smart boy.
Where were we? We were on this next question. I can't remember where I was.
Rise Star.
What is your favorite franchise? There you go.
My favorite franchise? It's got to be Resident Evil.
I knew you'd say that because you know.
Yeah, it's just from what we were talking about before. It's I've been playing them since I was, and it's just
Three.
So,
You've been playing it since 3. You were 3.
since I was 3.
Yeah, you were playing first Resident Evil. You were playing when you were 3.
It came out in 96. Did it come out?
96, I think, 95, 96, something like that, wasn't it?
95, 96. So yeah, like, I was very young when the first one came out.
Do you know what? Thinking of Resident Evil, when I first saw Resident Evil, it was on Blue Peter. Before the game had come out, they were showing like how I think they were just showing like how the PlayStation was coming along and look how good this game looks and stuff. And they were showing Resident Evil like on Blue Peter in the
Really?
middle of the day.
Wow, that's a bit risque for Blue Peter, bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It may be me getting something mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that happened.
I really hope it did. That's amazing.
Here you go then. I asked you just now which franchise you would like to see die. But
Yeah.
is it your most hated franchise? And if not, what is?
I don't think there's ever been a franchise that I've genuinely hated. So like,
Or like
I
the
enjoyed
least
the
then?
first few. Like, I enjoyed the first few Call of Duties. I just think it's one that's well come out.
I
and I
really
enjoyed-
enjoyed Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, they were really, really good games. And after that, it all kind of just like COD blocks and all that. They all just kind of blended into one for me. But and FIFA's the same. Like even the crap ones, you get fun out of in the multiplayer. But I can't. Do you know? I struggle to think of a franchise I genuinely don't like.
That's fair enough.
Come back to me on that one, because I'm sure there's something.
Oh, you'll probably think of something, even whether it's today or tomorrow. You can always tell us the next time you're on.
I certainly will.
What is your favorite console?
Favorite console? That is a disgusting question. Who asked that?
Me.
Is that your own question? Pedz.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
What is your favorite console? Which doesn't have to be specifically like, this console's better, but like, maybe the best memories you've had with the most games you've played and enjoyed. No. Let's make it simple. What is your favorite console?
I think GameCube. I think if I had to, if I were like forced to,
It is not a console I would turn around and say is a bad choice for favorite console. It was a damn good console.
Do you know what it was? It came out at a time, essentially unlimited free time, and 3 or 4 people who were always around to play stuff like Super Smash Brothers, Time Splitters 2, Time Splitters 3.
Other franchise I'd like to see come back.
Oh God, yeah. Jesus, I totally forgot about that.
So you bring it up now, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, memories.
Time Splitters is incredible. But yeah, like the GameCube, it was the right console at the right time. And yeah, I think that probably just pips the Xbox 360 and the N64.
Yeah, it's a quite close contention there. Like, it's very. Is it this like kind of thing? If like another day, like say next week, if you had the same console, it'd be something you may consider. Is it changing how close it is? Yeah. Which is your least liked console then?
The least liked one I've owned.
Yeah, well played.
Just the least liked.
Made love to, you know.
Well, if it's made love to, it's probably the Sega Saturn. No, I don't know. I think probably in terms of use, it's the PS3 because I bought one and then I played maybe 3 games on it. All fantastic games, nothing wrong with the console. It never clicked, and I never got into it the way that.
What were the 3 games?
The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Uncharted 2, I think.
Surprising, because they're all highly regarded games.
All very good, very, very good games.
You know? Huh. How come you only ended up getting 3 games? You got it late, like just thought, I'll play the ones that people talk about. And
I think something we were talking about last week, in that I kind of hit 18, learned to drink, and just disappeared from games for 7, 8, 9 years, and that was just like slap bang. I remember getting it from HMV with my student overdraft, and then just like it was such a waste of a couple of £100. I've still got it, and I've still got a few games to it that I've never played, so I will eventually go back to it.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, it needs to go down as least favourite, not by virtue of being bad, just by virtue of being like the unlucky loser of the Lager Roulette.
Yeah. No, it's just surprising how like sometimes you can drift away from something and come back to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, I've always played games, but I don't think there's been a big time where I've like left it for years and not gone back. It's always been a mainstay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Which console, if any, do you wish you had played at the time when everything on it was new and unseen?
I'm really lucky. I've always been quite an early adopter when it comes to console gaming and stuff like that, and that has been like that since the SNES generation. So I guess the only answer is the NES. The only answer I can really give is that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I've got this question down really for because like the people in the podcast are all various ages. So some of us, not me, are not going to have played like the NES or the SNES until quite like later in life. Like I never had an Atari, so it'd be nice to have played that back before the NES was a thing, you know. But
for sure. The Atari's a good shout, actually. Like I've read some sort of gaming histories with the Bitmap brothers and.
Damn, I so wish I played
like
ET at the time.
Oh God! If you go to Nevada, you might be able to find a few 100,000 copies of the game. Absolutely woeful. Have you played it? Have you ever actually played it?
I haven't. I have no interest. It looks
so bad. It's I remember downloading it years ago just out of pure morbid interest, and it is woeful. But yeah, I think that I would have liked to see the Atari purely because a lot of the games were sort of British based, I think, weren't they? A lot of the cassettes and stuff like that. And the Commodore. But I think probably still the NES, only because I got one when I was sort of 11 or 12. Didn't appreciate the games as much as I probably should have then.
I wonder, thinking about it, how...
Back and be like, yeah.
I wonder how bad piracy was back in the day, when you could just stick your tape in a tape recorder and record on another tape and then just give it to someone else.
Well, that's it.
I wonder if it was as bad as it is today, or if it was better, because games weren't so, like a Commodore 64 game would be, I think, I'm probably wrong, would be like £5, and that'd be considered an expensive game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like, I guess piracy might have been worse, but by the same hand, like homebrew developing and stuff like that was huge, like bedroom coding and stuff, so it kind of balances itself out. But yeah, it's certainly interesting to think about. I'd love to have been about in the 80s when all these consoles were kicking about. It would have been a really cool time to grow up, I think.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
Removed from it.
Would have been interesting time.
The other one is the Neo Geo, which I've recently downloaded a half a dozen Metal Slug games stuff onto the Xbox, and I'm loving them. So like, it would have been nice to kind of play them at the time as well. So that's the kind of outlier.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on AAA games and indie games? Do you miss the kind of mid-range games that we seem to be getting a bit more of now, but they're still not as prevalent as they were?
Someone on GR maybe talking about this or somewhere. It was a kind of article on sort of mid-range film tie-in games, and the fact that you don't see them anymore, because there's no market for them. Everything's kind of polarized into big budget or, indie, low budget, high reward kind of thing. I do miss that. I miss, like, I bought Shrek the Third on the Xbox for a couple of quid on eBay last week. Partly because I'm a filthy achievement hunter at times, but also partially because I quite enjoy the crappy, the crappy platform aspect of it, and the crappy sort of film tie-in stuff that, again, you get nostalgic for, having played so many of them as a kid. Did you ever play like Aladdin or The Lion King?
I played Aladdin and The Lion King, and I am a Mega Drive Aladdin supporter.
Oh no, Pedz. The SNES is the boss, man.
Nope.
SNES is the boss.
Nope.
Capcom Aladdin.
Nope.
I'm not having it.
Yep.
You've disappointed me.
No. Mega Drive all the way. Except for the boss was a bitch. And throwing apples at Iago was a pain in the ass on that boss too. What's your thoughts on the indie scene and the AAA scene then? Where do you lie on, not so much which is better, but how do you feel about both?
Like, I don't have an issue with AAA. Of us. I'd borrow my brother's PlayStation next week to get a shot on that because it looks amazing. I see no issue with AAA games. I think they're absolutely brilliant. Personally, my interest probably lie more in indie games. Hotline Miami is the best thing I've played in the last 10 years. I think without question, it's just
came out in 2009, guys.
Oh,
I'm joking. I don't know any.
Do you know what? You might be right. Like, this is how out of date I am. The other one. Did you ever hear about a game called Broforce?
Broforce is awesome.
Oh god, it's so.
Oh my god, I played through with Matt. He's in chat now. I played through with Matt, Jasm, and Xanthem, and we had so much fun with that game, man.
Me and Banjo went through it because he used to live nearby, and he came round to my flat and we just blasted through it over the course of like 3 or 4 nights, and it is incredible.
Oh, it's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's just as a kind of contra.
It is an 80s action film as a game, good. And it is like fucking everything blowing up.
Just the stupid characters, like the homage to insane 80s and 90s and 2000 film. Time Cop, fucking it's so good. That's the kind of thing that you can get away with that in indie because your budget is so low. I guess like the guys who I know it's published by Devolver. I can't remember the name of the developers.
I'm not sure.
But they're South African based, and there were only like 4 or 5 of them.
I didn't know that. They that was a damn good game, and I got clips on my channel because I streamed there as well, and some of them are hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember one. I think it was I jumped on someone jumped into a rocket. A mech. I jumped on top. It shot off into the sky, landed. I kind of got flung off them. They then shot an explosive thing and blew me up. Like that. Something like that.
Jesus.
Oh, damn, it was good.
We made this like so many of the same issues. Randomly falling down pits that you've made, or making a pit that was too big to get across.
Yeah.
Not being able to finish the damn level. Just
such a good
everything
game.
about those games was incredible.
I haven't played it myself. I want to, but have you played Expender Bros?
I have. I've got it. I got it before it was taken off sale on Steam.
It's not on sale anymore, is it?
No, I don't know if the license expired or something like that, but it was more of the same essentially, but so good. Like I think one of the characters is called Lee Christmas, and the version of him, Bro Christmas, I'm reasonably sure, was incorporated into Machete, or Brochette, or whatever they call him. So you don't miss, like you don't really miss that much from the game. But it's one of the best, like most quirky film tie-in games I've ever played. And it's a shame that it went off sale because it's just like a short level pack and it's a lot of fun.
I need to play it. I've got it. I haven't played it. I don't know if. Damn, I had fun there.
Give it a shot. It's
Broforce. Yeah,
you're
Matt
never
said
going to go wrong.
he didn't get on with Hotline Miami, but Broforce was brilliant. It's just so much fun, man.
It's
even if you
incredible.
can't see what's going on because there's so many explosions at times.
Yeah, it's just if you could distill the essence of Arnold Schwarzenegger into a game, it would be Broforce.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
What are your other interests besides games?
Celtic and Blackburn. So like football's a big one.
Disgusting.
Socialising with friends. Having a good time. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that was posted earlier on with that ridiculous. Like it was like a delivery man's bio, and it basically read like a bad Tinder bio. But, yeah, I don't have that many interests. History, because I'm a fucking dullard.
You like, if I do remember correctly, you are very partial to American history, am I correct?
Yeah.
Even though you're from Scotland.
Well, I'm English technically, but...
No, you're Scottish. You've got a Scottish accent, you're Scottish.
But yeah, American history was conceived of as a way to get myself over to America on a trip.
Okay.
When I started my PhD, and it worked. I got to spend like nearly 3 months over there.
It's not bad at all, is it?
No, just travelling about, like reading shit, writing stuff. It's good. But yeah, history and learning about it, probably my big non-gaming hobby, and also football. Like, obviously you're not a fan, so we're not going to go into great detail.
No, to me, I got no interest, to be honest. Like I said, Rocket League is more interesting to me.
I could never get into Rocket League.
I struggle so
hard.
I've even watched quite a few hours of it, like not professional, but like esports. I fucking hate the term esports. Matt is saying the online for Broforce was laggy. I agree with you, but I think that's because Xantha was in America. When he wasn't there, it ran smooth.
Fair. I always played it split screen. I'm not split screen, but I always played it couch co-op, so that never was an issue for me at all.
So Banjo was living with you for a while, was he?
He wasn't living with me. He was living near me.
Okay.
I don't think we would have coped too well living together. I think he would have killed me for my messy ways after that. Like, my wife is close to killing me, I think, at this point. I could hear her shouting on me a couple of minutes ago from the other. I'm just like, going to pay for that later. But yeah. But yeah, Banjo has been a very common co-op partner for stuff like Broforce.
Well, according to Matt in chat, Banjo was your pet.
He is a terrible person, but I love him dearly.
I remember seeing, and actually you just mentioned it, that you post quite a bit in the achievement hunting thread. Yeah. Are you big into achievement hunting?
Yeah, I used to be, and then I kind of went away from it, and I've come back to it since lockdown, but not in the sense of desperately trying to get the score up. It's more about going back to older games. So I had a look at, there's a website called True Achievements, and I went on it and I saw that I'd completed 57% of Xbox 360 and Xbox One games that I'd started. I've completed 57% of the achievements from them, and I thought that's not good enough. So since lockdown, I've increased that from 57 to 71, 72%.
Wow, that's fair enough.
I've not played that many games though. Like, it's just kind of going back to old ones.
You played 100 games.
I think it's
71,
50 or something like that.
That's fair enough.
So yeah.
So, what actually got you started with the whole getting as many achievements as possible?
I had a competition with a guy in my computing class in school.
Alright.
We both got Xbox 360s at the same time. Bet, and it was like, at the end of school, it'd be like when we leave school 18 months from now, I will have more points than you.
Who won?
I don't remember. I think I lost.
Yeah, I was going to say you must have lost too.
If I won.
Yeah. You remember you won. I won. It was me.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But it got to it must have got to that point, and we left school and then turned 18, and then the competition was just immediately
gone.
Immediately forgotten. I probably still owe him like 20 quid.
So, do you feel that playing games to get the achievements dilutes the experience you've had in there? Like, for example, if you played the game for 20 hours, right? Played the game for 20 hours, and then there's lots of achievements. You spend 10 hours. It's really fucking dull. Do you look back at the game and think you enjoyed it less than you probably did initially because of those extra 10 hours of achievement hunting?
I think it depends on the game. Like, I think if you play something like and you spend like 10, 15 hours like battering through that and hating every single minute of it, then you're wasting time. But if you kind of find a game that's got fun achievements and ones that are like related to the game, it can really enhance it. Dead Rising was always quite good for achievement.
Yeah,
because they're fun. They encourage you to go and narrowly have seen in game, and there's also a level of difficulty there that kind of gets you to challenge yourself more than you might have done otherwise. Like it was called Transmissionary, I think, and you had to every call and save every person in the mall, and it to having a perfect run of a 6-hour game. And it was difficult, but worth doing, if that makes sense. So whereas you'll get a game like Avatar where you put it on and then 5 minutes later you get 1,000 points, it devalues the system. Not that I don't have Avatar on my games right now, but
I got Avatar on my game list, and I don't do achievement stuff.
it's just pure weakness. Like I remember getting off film.
My friend came down. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, my brother-in-law got it from Love Film as well. But he came down. I was like, "Here you go, play us." I was there for like 2 seconds. Like, oh, 1,000 G, that was amazing.
It's just immediate as well, because it's like boom, 5 a G for 1,000 G, and you're like.
I think it was just for getting a combo, wasn't it? You had to get a combo of a certain amount. You could do on the very first fight of the game.
Embarrassing.
I really didn't know what to do there.
Games like that killed the mid-level game, I think.
Yeah. Moving on from games for a little bit.
All right.
I've got a couple more questions, not a lot more questions now. What's your favourite film?
Favourite film? Now, it should be Die Hard. Like, I tell everyone it's Die Hard, and it really is Die Hard.
It's Mary Poppins.
I've got a soft spot for. I've always had a soft spot for Spider-Man 2. It's terrible. You go back and watch it now, and it's watchable. But
I didn't like them at the time. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like the Spider-Man films at the time.
Another one, and GR kind of helps with this. Or GR kind of made it a more enjoyable film than it was. But I know you've seen Commando.
Commando's great.
Yeah, it was amazing. But what made it more amazing, the ridiculous amount of memes and like stupid chat about it that went around on GR in about 2006, 2007.
Yeah, I remember when back on Games Radar, when we were playing online, like whatever we were playing, and we all had the clan tag CQA for constantly quoting Arnie.
Oh my god. And someone, was it Ouija Bobo, maybe changed this to constantly quoting Bennett?
Yeah.
And just quote like the Australian guy from just constantly quoting the shit that he came out with.
Yeah.
That has made my enjoyment of Commando even more sort of special in the years that have followed, just because I can't watch it and not laugh remembering the ridiculous crap that went on around it. But my annual Christmas viewing of Die Hard still probably just about because it's just another one that GR's probably helped to make better, actually.
What's that now, sorry?
Like Die Hard, it's another film that GR's probably helped to kind of push my enjoyment on.
Yeah, probably, especially as they every year on GRcade. I don't know about if there was a thing on Games Radar, but the people would like start the film at the perfect time so that it ends at the 12 o'clock. Not at the end, when at 12 o'clock Hans gets kicked off the.
He gets kicked off the tower.
Off the tower. So it's like, because that's the time in the film, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty mad. Like, it's like a weird cult.
It's
Die Hard
kind of
cult.
love that.
Yeah.
You
gotta admire it. You gotta admire it, Even if, even though some heathens out there say it's not a Christmas film.
Those people are wrong.
I agree.
Shame on them.
Including Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis he's insane.
It's funny though, because speaking of Bruce Willis, I like Kevin Smith does not like him because he had like a lot of trouble with him, I think, in one film.
Oh, this was in the cop film that they made,
Yeah, but I've seen other people saying, like, even talking to Kevin Smith on like his podcast, like they never had trouble with him. He was always really nice.
Yeah.
It's funny. So, what's your favourite album?
Oh, that's a horrible question. It is.
I could be worse. But what's your favourite riff?
My favourite riff, Christ, Be Here All Night. Dark by Alice in Chains comes to mind. Or Boxer by The National.
I am unfamiliar with both. I know who Alice in Chains are. I've
I
heard
don't think
bits
The
and
National
bobs
would be
of
up there.
them, but I don't really know stuff by name.
Yeah. That's an incredible album. I've been listening to it for like 20 years now. It's so many absolute quality songs. Their Jar of Flies EP comes close to being that good as well. I love them, but yeah, and The National, a band that I came to more recently, they came to the sound of the melancholy middle class, which is exactly as pretentious as you think it is. I don't think you'd be a massive fan, but yeah, they're kind of like my indulgent band, I think.
Yeah, so if that's your favourite album, And you're saying that's the most indulgent as well band. Does that mean that that's your favourite band? Because that was the next question.
At the moment, yeah, but it changes. It changes depending on my mood. So like sometimes it'll be Metallica, sometimes it'll be Chains, sometimes it'll be something completely weird. Tame Impala I was big on for a little while. So yeah, at the moment the National, but it really depends how annoyed I am.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Next up, you've got your favourite.
Night. Sorry.
Next up, favourite TV show.
Favourite TV show. Season 2 to season 10 of The Simpsons.
Breaking Bad. You love Breaking Bad.
I did not get on with Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing in the favourite TV show thread how you seemed to actively try to get rid of it.
It was just...
I'm pretty sure you were like, if Breaking Bad wins this, I'm going to go insane.
I riot. Yeah. It's just, I just didn't get on with it. I didn't get on with the show. And I think what made it worse was that everyone I know was just all over it all the time. Like, oh, this is so good. It's amazing. Best show ever. And I watched it and I was just like, this is special. And then I had to listen to everyone
I thought it was really good myself.
talking about it for 5 more years. I think that probably speaks to my shitty taste more than it speaks to anything else. But yeah, the Breaking Bad I did not get on. But
I think a shit show ended up winning that in the end because of the revolt against Breaking Bad. It's like Dancing on Ice or something.
Did Breaking Bad not actually win?
I don't think it did. I can't remember. I thought it was something that people didn't really care for ended up winning because it was better than the other thing that was there, which was something that people cared for even less.
I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look this up later on.
But what was you saying was your favourite show? Sorry, season 2 to 10 of
Simpsons.
You
Yeah.
can't really criticise that choice, can you? I didn't mind season 1. To be honest,
season 1's fine. It's just hard to watch because the voices are different.
Yeah.
Like
the thing is,
kind of finding its feet.
I was watching season 1 recently, and it's quite a different show. It's still funny and stuff, but it's a lot more like The Simpsons are a lot more down on their luck. Like there's always something like that. Homer's really struggling for money a lot of the time, and like even one episode he's literally about to kill himself.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
It's more grounded, I think.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of like a sad kind of comedy, but a comedy at the same time because it's always like kind of it's really dark. I agree with it's a dark.
It's a dark comedy there.
Yeah, and then after that, it kind of changes in this moon, and then it gets to a point then where it just becomes kind of crap.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it didn't.
I think it got to the point where there's not really much else. Once you've done it for a certain amount of time, you start to kind of
it's hard to think of
satire of the same thing, like try and change it up a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, is there a particular episode that stands out, or like what?
I don't know if my wife can still hear me or not. If she can't, it's Bart versus Australia.
I hear your wife is Australian, isn't she?
She is, yeah. And it has taken on a much more wind-uppy kind of. Like, it's always been one of my favourites, but it's absolutely my favourite now because I just use it to wind.
Call that a spoon.
Yeah, call that a spoon. So, what's the other one? Like, ask her to give me one of those Jack beers. If she were ever to ask me coffee, I would probably hand her a beer. It's just and the monorail episode is one.
The monorail episode, that is a good one.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched The Simpsons, but I did start watching it fairly recently, and I've only watched season 1, and it's just like, wow, this show is a lot darker than I remember.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay, it's a really serious question now. More serious question I've asked her, except for the next one after this, actually, is...
Well, that's frightening.
Right, what is it like having a dog more popular than you?
It's difficult. life is hard. I've actually, I was moaning the other. Seen him. I've only seen him twice, I think, since because my brother's had him through lockdown.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like I love him. I get on very well with him, and he's a good boy. But if me and my brother got the brains, he got the looks, and that like his Instagram following shows it.
For those who don't know, Cora's dog is called Loki, and at one point it was on the forum, wasn't it? The conspiracy thing. It's not actually. This is not. It wasn't your dog.
It's not your dog. It's somebody else's dog. But that was like he'd gone up. He ended up on the Reddit front page off the back of like my brother graduated. Someone took pictures of him in his wee graduation outfit. And put it on Reddit's front page, and I was like, "Oh, that's my dog." And the response was just, "No, that's not your dog. I've seen this dog on other Reddit posts. What? You're lying." My dog, honestly, that's my foot in the picture. Come on, man. But yeah, it just kind of spied. I think it was Kaiser kind of took it from there and was just like every time it was. He's not you. How come you keep posting about him? Got to the point where even I thought I was living a lie.
That was good fun.
That was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I thought I saw something on the forum about something about the dog on the train as well. Don't know what that was though. Maybe it's doing insane. The next question, that's all my questions now. Mine are all nice and easy, light questions. We've got one from Karl, and he says, "What games, if any, have helped you cope during times of stress?" This is actually a bit more serious of a question, and I think it's at this moment in time it is as Cora is saying. This is actually a very good question because people are having a lot more stressful life at the moment.
Sometimes, like, I always go back to something that's sort of relatively repetitive, something that I can get through easily without kind of thinking too hard about. So I tend to either go to Smash Brothers where I can just pound on something, or Resident Evil 4. Weirdly enough,
yes, you can suplex people.
Yeah, but I think like I've played it so many times, I've finished it so many times that I can basically at this point kind of do it on autopilot. So it's just basically something to keep my hands busy if I'm really kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
And again, we've kind of already spoken about it, but Broforce is another one because it's so big and so stupid that I can go back, sit, play on it, and just not really think.
So you're more instead of playing something new and it's something that would require a lot more attention, you're more play something familiar, so you're concentrating on the game, but you're not you don't have to focus too much on it because obviously if your mind is wandering on other issues, it may be too hard to focus on it and then stick with it.
It would just become frustrating, and if I can't, I'm not going to play a new game if I can't devote like attention to it because it just kind of defeats the point of buying one. Yeah. So it wouldn't be something kind of thought about doing if I was stressed or if I knew I wasn't going to be able to focus properly on what I was doing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. So, Karl, if you are listening to this, you just heard Cora. He did say that he would play games he's familiar with, so you can pound stuff, take that as you want.
One thing I should probably mention on the subject of like concentration and stuff like that, I've got attention deficit disorder, so if I'm stressed out, my concentration levels are nil, so I can't, like, I just would not be able to do anything that required like complex mental like arithmetic, if you like. So going back to something older is just a kind of a much better course of action for me, I think.
That makes sense. I didn't know you had ADHD.
No, yeah, like I only got told I had it in like 2017, 2018. So I've come through most of life without even realising. And it's only in the last couple of years that I've been able to look back and be like, do you know what? That's why I do that. And it's only as I've been talking that I've realised that's why I do that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, the more you know.
Yeah.
Well, the more we know. That's the point of us doing this, so we get to know more about you. Well, that is every single question I actually have written down. Like I said, the majority of it was just like fluff. The last question I think was like a good question for coping with times of stress, and we are in a stressful time at the moment with everything going on politically, everything going on with the pandemic and so on. It's a time where having a mechanism to deal with stress is just something that will be beneficial to all. And if Cora can help with his words of wisdom, then who's going to complain?
I wouldn't go as far as to say wisdom, but yeah,
words of wisdom.
Coping mechanisms are really important just now, especially after like 12, 13 weeks of like acute stress.
Yeah. Of course, some people are going to be more stressed than others, especially if they're lonely, I guess, on their own.
Definitely.
Like, obviously, people can be lonely with people with them, but I guess it's going to be more lonely if you're on your own.
Yeah, I think
for
so.
a lot.
I'm pretty lucky with that, but it must be a lot harder for people who can't, like, who don't have that, like, people around them or anything like that to kind of fall back on.
Well, I am going to see if anyone in chat has any genuine questions for Cora before we head off.
I'm waiting for all the ones like, why are you the way you are? I don't know, I'm sorry.
If there are any questions, pop them in the chat and we'll ask. If not, then we will end and go to sleep. Awesome. How much for the box?
How much for the box? Good question.
That's how much.
I'm not going to answer it.
You're not answering it.
It's £30 for the game.
£30 for the game. Another 30 for the box. If it's a SNES game, it'd be bloody more for the box than the game.
150 for the box and £2.99 for the game. I was trying to, very, very quickly trying to remember what the correct response to how much for the box was there, and just realised how much of my life I've wasted on fucking GR.
Funniest forum moment.
I've been on there longer than I haven't.
Yeah, Matt's asking, what's your funniest forum moment?
Driver 3 was a big one. That was absolutely glorious. All the
well, with 8 hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much for the box, dude's a good one. There have been a couple of sort of comedy bannings that I've thoroughly enjoyed as well.
Do you remember the last few days of Games Radar?
Yeah, that was me.
The last day or so.
Who was it that went around and just posted porn?
Exactly, I can't remember. I just remember like loads of shit was posted, loads of porn was posted because it was the last day of being
yeah, it was just like, well, you're not going to get banned for it.
Don't ban
I remember dropping a C-bomb on someone in 2005 out of anger and getting banned immediately for it as well. Like, there was absolute zero tolerance back then.
Yeah. So it was like back in the day, you say naughty words, you'd have a spank. Not the fun kind.
Oh man. But yeah, it's hard to kind of comb through 17 years worth of posts to try and think about what the funniest thing that's happened is.
Oof.
That is a tough one. A couple of Photech meltdowns in the Xbox threads have been worthy of memory. And again, I don't know how many people will go into the football thread, but that is just bizarre at the best of times. So yeah,
I don't go in the football thread. I've clicked on it by accident sometimes, and I've just backed straight out. I haven't even. Oh, the football thread. I like. Well, it's like someone's talking about someone like, yeah, someone should be left back or something. I'm like, I don't know if that's a position. I'm like, what the fuck have I clicked on? I just click out of it. I'm like, I don't care about football.
I'll tell you what I remember, right, and I shouldn't because it's not funny, but it kind of was at the same time. there was a really elaborate WrestleMania related like April Fool's Day theme plan. And I vaguely remember like quite a lot of effort had gone into like creating the logo and making sure everything was going to be ready for this WrestleMania. I think we go up into the forum to be like a pretend wrestling forum, and then someone hacked the forum. I think it was, remember Elbow?
Yeah.
I think it was like all the stuff with him happened, then he got banned, and then the whole thing had to be scrapped because like the forum was down over the weekend that it was supposed to, like the WrestleMania stuff was supposed to happen. And I remember finding it sort of really, really sad for the people who had put a lot of time in it, but also what the fuck. It was one of those sort of like you laugh at a pure frustration kind of moments, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember other controversial things that have happened.
Matt, his favourite Voltec fail.
Favourite Voltec fail. He did one the other day that or was it even today actually, that made me laugh. And it was best summed up by Scarjo. It basically says like within 3 posts you've gone from like one that like this to this to this. I'm trying to find it because I'm actually on the phone.
I think some people do get too invested in things. I think you just need to chill out when it comes to game stuff, personally. I had a rant and rave about stuff, but most of the time I'm just joking around.
Yeah, pretty much. Here it is, like Scarjo's post. I never thought I'd live to see a flawless whataboutism straw man. I'm too clever to carry this on combo in 3 consecutive posts. And it was Vortex. It was like Vortex 1, 2, 3 punch of absolute like argument ruining. I love Vortex for what it's worth. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
but
he's a decent enough guy. It's just I think he sometimes goes
he does take
over
it
the top.
Seriously.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's like he takes it as an insult to himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
He's a nice guy in general. I've played online with him, and he's a decent guy.
I used to play Xbox with him from time to time back in the day, and he's a good bloke. But he does fair go. He does fair love to get involved sometimes, and it's quite funny to watch.
Yeah. Favorite HSH moments.
Oh,
sometimes a sound is better than an 8.
Yeah, 7's better than an 8. It's got to be.
It's got to be honest. Sounds better than 8. Or you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
There was another guy who was kind of HSH-ish. ET, I think his name was.
Oh, ET.
He was like borderline. He was sort of HSH, but with an edge of like genuine scariness about him.
Was it ET or was it Saint Nick who nicked the bike?
I think it was Saint Nick, wasn't it? Was he nicked the bike on his way home from a night out?
Yeah. Matt said, would you try one of Dempster's butt plugs if he cleaned it first?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, there you go. Cora don't mind. He'll try one of Dempster's butt plugs so long as it's clean.
I'll try anything once. But maybe not that, we'll see.
It's actually a strap on and Dempster's wearing it.
Dempster getting wasted, and are you aware of every time? Never got, I must say, on the
yeah, I loved that. It's like he'd always get shot first day.
But like, I did feel bad for him by the end of it, because by the time it got to like the 5th or 6th time, he was just absolutely furious with the whole thing, and it was just like it completely ruined his enjoyment of the game.
Thinking about it, one of the funniest things I remember seeing was Chalky. It was years ago, and someone posted a video of him like really pissed, and he was like falling off the bed and spewing all over the toilet.
Yeah, this was like a forum meet or something like that. Like he turned up like, absolutely blitzed and to like basically get put to bed.
Yeah, that's mad.
There's
been some funny stuff on GRcade.
He's a decent bloke. Oh yeah, GR's brilliant. We phoned Dempster once. I don't know who had his.
Right.
And it must have been about 11 o'clock at night, and we were in a pub, pretty pissed, and we phoned him, and he, like, to be fair to him, he took it very well. and sort of got involved in the conversation. But I know if someone had phoned me at 11 o'clock at night when I was working the next morning, I'd have been fucking raging.
That was the drunk thing. I think was before he snapped his Dark Souls disc.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Tits or ass?
Good
Something
question.
just one says from Crichton.
I cannot give you an answer.
Cannot give us an answer. His wife's so awake and she's probably thinking, yeah, answer that question.
If she could hear me, yeah, I'm like, what?
It depends on the anime game.
Well, I never got my head around them.
I know. It's not my cup of tea. But yeah,
No.
have we got any more questions, guys? That's been quite fun reminiscing about some of the old stuff, like Constantly Quoting Army, for example.
God, yeah.
Jesus.
I'd completely forgotten about that until it just popped into my head as well. Like some of the stuff that went on. Lewis D was big into the Constantly Quoting Army stuff. He's a good dude as well. Actually, he was always good banter.
Yeah.
It came out of like Rainbow Six or something as well. It was such an odd
Yeah, I think it was
thing.
Rainbow Six, wasn't it? It was Rainbow Six. We used to play Rainbow Six Gears. I think at one point it was Burnout.
Yeah.
Revenge? I was fucking awful at that Burnout Revenge. I'd always get taken because we'd always play the mode where it was one team had to take out the other team.
Yeah.
And I was always the first one to get taken out.
I really liked Burnout Revenges online. Same as I was absolutely fucking terrible at it, but it was so much fun.
Yeah. Shit on her tits or piss in the hair?
I missed the second part of that. What was that?
Shit on her tits or piss in her hair?
Good question.
Again, it's memes.
I know.
Awful
I'm
memes.
trying to think about it logically though. To clean.
Both are pretty disgusting.
Probably the latter.
Yeah, well, it's easier to clean and less wrong.
Less mess.
Less mess.
You're not a true GRcade if you don't go for the shit in the tits though, are you?
That is true.
So that's difficult.
What is over there by the beef burgers? Do you know?
I never found out. Who came up with that? Was it Nice Guy Eddie?
I'm not sure. I just remember it being like you ask a question and people would say over there by the beef burgers.
God, like, it's been going for as long as I've been on the forum.
Yeah.
Over there by the beef burgers. Stick around, we'll go bowling.
Yeah. Well, the follow thing is of me just going, thank you, and let's go bowling. And it's got a picture of Homer throwing a bowling ball through the
Yes.
the floor of bowling alley.
Amazing.
I was trying to think of like notifications I could do for this for the channel that would coincide with forum memes, but I did not want to put like 2 girls 1 cup as a clip as a notification.
Oh, God, yeah. Imagine doing that instantly banned.
No. No.
We don't want your sort around here.
Yeah. Graham, have you got any questions for Cora before we end? Graham's probably drunk. He's always drinking.
Fair. There's nothing like a Wednesday night lager.
When is Cora going to be on tipping point?
I fucking wish I knew, man. Like, it was supposed to be the 18th of April. And it never... Like, they emailed me like, yeah, you're going to be on. It's 3 weeks' time, 18th of April, brilliant. And then I got an email on the day saying, oh yeah, we've had to pull it. We'll try and email you closer to the time and like let you know what's going on. I think now that things are opening back up again...
Should be soon, you reckon?
It should be soon,
Yeah.
but the forum will know when I know. But it's a proper... Oh, God. The funniest things on GR, the DML performance.
Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you, actually.
Show.
This is what I was going to ask you. Is,
God.
do you think we are going to get quality GIFs like we did DML on that show?
I don't know, but I
With
don't
you.
know if my ego is going to be able to fucking hold up to this. There's a DML worthy wrong answer in.
Ooh.
I can't I can't I'm literally legally bound from
Talking about that shit.
going into great detail on it, but yeah, I didn't win, and yeah, there's I think 2 questions I got wrong that on reflection are pretty bad. So yeah, I think it'll be very enjoyable.
Cora, do you know what's happened to my to my Ring Fit order?
Yeah, it'll be here, but it won't be here for another couple of weeks. Sorry, man. My contact at the Royal Mail told me.
Do you know what's happened to my PS2 memory card? It's supposed to be here by today.
It's lost. It's not coming. I'm sorry.
Oh well, I'll pay my £5 back.
Yeah.
Grum says he's hoping that you will be on the television soon, as he wants to tune in to watch it.
Yeah. I want to tune in to watch it.
I'm not being funny, Grum. I guarantee you that everyone on the forum will jump into Discord or something, or MSN Messenger, if you could, like we used to back in the day, to talk about things.
That's amazing.
We'll all do that, and we'll all sit down at the same time and watch it.
Yeah, my
live
work have organised a viewing
ITV
party for
Hub.
it as well.
We'll all watch it live on ITV Hub instead of on the TV, so that way, if anything funny happens, we can all quickly make a gif.
I'm not going to go on the forum for like 3 weeks after that. Yeah. Not going.
It's going to be great. You shouldn't have told people, man.
I shouldn't, but it comes back to the publicity whore thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, man.
I don't like being the centre of attention. I also fucking love it.
Well, when you go about it, I just love attention.
Yeah.
Is there any other shows you've applied to go on or would like to apply? Are there any other quiz shows or other TV shows in general you'd like to apply to be part of? Or have applied to be part of?
I've applied for Pointless and The Chase a couple of things. Like we got down to like interviews to be on Point. I didn't score in the audition. I got a question wrong. I went, oh fuck. And the guy went, oh. Like, I literally saw his face. He's going, oh. We probably can't have you on. And then we almost got onto the Family Chase. And my mum decided that she wasn't for it. So watch this space, because I'm going to continue trying to get on ridiculous quiz shows just for fun.
Woo! Which chaser would you like to go up against?
I want to go up against the Vixen, man. Like, she's from the next town over to me.
Yeah,
and it would be good. Yeah, at least she's from both. So it would be fun. It would be fun to go up against her.
I was looking at the stats.
I get an ass kicking, but
yeah, I was looking at the stats, and I think Anne and Mark have the best wins.
Oh yeah,
in the sense of they've won against people who've had 27 questions right and silly things like that.
Jesus, that's insane. There's no way I would win, but it would just be fun to go on and have a laugh with.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go on. I'd look like a fucking idiot after one question. What's 1 + 1? 83!
Yeah.
Get out!
You've no idea. See the level of fear? When you're actually sitting there in the studio, the fear that you get is insane. I've never felt anything like it.
It's just like a massive amount of pressure or something, is it?
It does, that way, there are no, if you lose, there is nothing is going to happen, but at the same time you sat there X amount of money could be at stake here. Oh my god! And then it just I don't know, my head crumbled.
Yeah, the thing is as well is you don't want to. I guess a bit of the feeling is what if they ask me a really, really easy, a really simple, easy question I know, get it wrong, and I look like a complete prat in front of the entire UK.
I just wet myself on stage or something and run away crying. That's the kind of that's the fear. It was quite funny when I went on head and we're like, that's too shiny. We need to we need to sort that out. And they kind of put, I don't know if it was makeup or something like that on the de-shino.
De-shine?
Yeah, like de-head shine, which was quite funny.
Yeah. For all those who don't know, Cora's bald.
Oh yeah.
This is why you told me to fuck off earlier when I said I've still got hair.
You know I love you though.
I
know. I love you. Yeah.
Well, we have one more question from Graham, and he says, "Can you fix his left Joy-Con?"
I can't. And it's not because I don't know how to do it, it's just because I don't like you.
Poor Graham. He's such a lovely guy as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I love you, really.
I think then that is going to be us for tonight, unless there's any more questions that isn't silly about the post. Oh, Grub's upset. He got a sad face in chat.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. But yeah, this was fun. It's been good. As you said, it's been good to go back through some of the stuff that used to get posted years ago and stuff like that.
Yeah. I completely agree. Like some of the things we actually end up speaking about, I didn't expect to pop up, so it's quite good as well because some of those memories actually go back like a good 15 plus years.
Yeah, man, it's frightening. Like Gears of War must have come out in what, 2007, 2006? I remember playing it when I was still at school.
I remember playing Gears of War with everyone before my first kid was born and when he was born. So I remember sitting there playing it with everyone while he was in the basket sleeping.
I'm sure I remember.
And I was like, I'm playing games while he's sleeping because he rarely ever slept, and he's 13 now.
So, I remember you having to go and attend to the baby as well.
I was like,
that's frightening, man.
Well,
that is absolutely frightening.
It is a long time ago, really. It's like, it's not relatively speaking, but at the same time, it is when it comes to something,
that's
something
crazy.
quite, I don't know the right word.
13, God almighty.
But that was Gears, so it was at least 13, 14 years ago. And obviously there was games before that. I think New Vegas was before Gears, wasn't it?
New Vegas was...
So I'm sure I was talking about it at the time, saying I prefer the cover system in New Vegas to Gears of War.
Wow.
Because in Gears a lot of the time, I remember, I think at the time I complained about sometimes you try and run and then you... because it's the same button
to the wall.
Yeah, it stick to the wall. Whereas in New Vegas, you'd have to specifically press a button to stick to the wall, and I preferred that. That was what I think I used to talk about. So, there.
Enough. Perfect Dark Zero was the first one on the 360, I think.
Yeah, I remember everyone playing Infection. I remember
Infection,
that.
Jesus God.
Infection was the only good thing about. I remember Hugo bought it then. HSH at the time he was like 20. HSS 25 and 33 or something now.
Was the Hugo Sebastian Herbert thing real? Was that his
I think that is his genuine name, yeah.
That's amazing. I wish that was... That is outstanding.
I genuinely think that's his name. I think that is his name. I could be wrong, but it supposedly is. But I remember he bought it like maybe a year after all of us were playing it. And he was just like, this is shit. Why are you not playing it? I think it's because he had nothing else really to play. Fair point. Like, the game is... Perfect Dark Zero was shit, but I did enjoy Infection. It was basically just everyone huddling in one corner who was infected with guns, shooting at the people who were coming at who were infected, and then one person would get caught every so often or something.
Would Bobo made a point whenever he played it going after me. If he were the first infected, he would just make sure I was the first person caught all the time because he knew that it upset me. And it got to it was 3 weeks in, and I just completely lost the plot. I'm like, you are bullying me, you are a disgrace, all the rest of it. And he just that game was it was really bad, but it was also really good fun.
Yeah.
Just be a group of 8 or 12 people playing it night after night for months.
Yeah.
Me and Aaron went through perfectly. We went through the single player and it was both insanely difficult and really crap. And I'll never not owe him one for going through that one, because it was such a slog, and we did it over the course of like a year.
I'll never forgive forgive Ray for ruining the credits music from Perfect Dark for the final boss battle of Perfect Dark Zero.
How did they do that?
Well, they took the music and made it like different, and it just sounded awful. I don't like it. I think it was the final boss battle, or it was like the credit music. No, it was the music, the actual ending music of Perfect Dark, which is an awesome tune, was the final boss incredible music on Perfect Dark Zero, and they had this, I don't know, it was like this weird dance version of it or something, and it was just awful against the guy who was like flying around in the sky or something.
I don't remember that. I remember that, like, you fit against Graal or something.
Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero. I'm sure you end up fighting like this old Chinese guy who gets like some kind of power and
mega powers or something like that.
Flying about as you're killing them. And like, don't get me wrong, I think Perfect Dark jumps the shark a bit with the alien stuff, but that's kind of cool and stuff. You know, that's pretty cool. It's sci-fi. Kind of makes sense in the future. There's some aliens about. You've got some really cool weapons like the Farsight. Shit like that. And then
Farsight's incredible.
Perfect Dark Zero, you just get some guy who gets mystical powers. What?
It's nonsense. Like, it really is nonsense. That was another one I tried to play a few weeks ago, because it came out as part of Rare Replay.
Yeah.
And I tried to play through it, and it was it's unplayable now.
Yeah. I got Rare Replay. I actually was looking back. I thought my first stream on my channel was The Order 1886, but my actual first stream was on the same day, but it was in the day instead of in the evening. It was actually Rare Replay, and the game I was playing was arcade version of Battletoads.
Oh, nice! I've got 197 out of 200 achievements on Rare Replay, and finishing that game is the only one that I like one of the only ones that I'm missing, because it is insanely difficult.
There are certain games that don't deserve your attention and time, man, and Perfect Dark Zero is one of them. Though, I would say the arcade version of Battletoads is one that does. The NES one does, but that's ridiculously hard. That takes
the NES one I'm thinking of, the arcade version.
The NES one is a piss take. That bloody tower level.
Which one is the tower level?
Not the tower level, the underground level. The underground level when you're on the bike. The
Oh yeah.
Oh, I said tower level. I meant riding on the thing level. That's the one.
So there's an achievement on Rare Replay for doing a complete run through of that.
Yeah.
And again, that's like one of the 4 that I haven't got yet, because it's just, as you say, a complete piss take.
Yeah.
So difficult.
I agree.
I'll get it one day, but that'll be a day when I'll like grow some patience, I think.
That'll be a day when you de-age by 10 years and have the reflexes of a cat.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's not even like you can cheat it or anything like that with the save states in it. It's just insanely difficult.
Agreed. Well, I think we are done here with questions for Cora.
Yeah.
I am going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Cora has said goodbye also. I was wondering if he was going to, because he might have just wanted to have a chat with you guys on his own. We will be back for the next Twitchcast, probably next week if people are up for it. Hopefully we'll do another few normal episodes and then go back to maybe see if Victor Mildew or Ginuel would like to do something similar. I think the questions are not exactly delving deep into the person's psyche or anything. It's just a bit of light fluff.
I would like to see a general one. Or an ad one, actually. I think both of them would be good.
Yeah, that would be good, actually. I wonder if you've ever picked up a dog and spoke to her as if it was a phone.
That is a good question.
It is a good question. Right, let's have a look at those live so we can read them. before we head off. Jasm is live. Oh, you got a lot of people in there. Let's give him a read. With that, I am going to say goodbye. Everyone have a lots and lots of fun. The raid message is Cora's Pickle. Bye-bye.